Everybody, it's Annette. Are you having fun yet? It's it's all over the place. The weather, the what's going to happen. It really, at this point, depends on what demographic you're in. Keep watching the alerts. I'm speaking specifically for North Carolina Piedmont because this is the crisis that we will have to deal with, and apparently no snowflakes are on my phone. It's just rain. Rain at freezing temperatures 2 days in a row is going to turn into ice. This is not what we wanted. So we're going to prepare, at least in this area. Again, it's going to depend where you are. It's anywhere from snow, sleet, ice, blizzards. It's all over the place. Prepare for the demographic that you're in. So, speaking of the ice, I went ahead because more than likely, if this does happen, the power will go out. I got my candles upstairs already and in place. I'm reading from some notes. I had to make myself a little list. I got the fondue pot and then the little flame that goes under it, the canister. I have that upstairs. And I know where the tea candles are. I wanted everything kind of in a location that I could get to without going back downstairs. I will have to go downstairs depending on what the weather does. I do have a foster cat down there right now. We'll just play that by ear. If I have to crate that kitty up and bring it up here so it can stay warm, I'll do what I have to do. I'm prepared for that as well. We are blessed with crates because I've been rescuing for quite some time and volunteering with these different groups. So, reason that I wanted as much upstairs and as little going up and downstairs as possible, because when we lose the power, if we lose the power, and more than likely we'll lose the power, I'm just being realistic here. Uh, Anything that we can do to minimize, and I don't see a lot of people talking about this right now. They're telling you what to collect and what to get, but we need to also think about minimizing accidents because the emergency people are going to be overwhelmed with God knows what, taking care of people who are unable or don't have what they need, people in medical emergencies, trying to keep your elderly people, your vulnerable population warm. They've already sent an announcement that a shelter is going to be open up in a county near here. Well, it's in my county, but it's further down the road. Uh, School will be open up for shelter beginning at 12 p.m. tomorrow, which is great because the last that I looked, and that was around 10ish this morning, Eastern Standard Time, is that everything's supposed to start coming in at 4 o'clock. That gives people time to safely leave their homes, hopefully, and to get settled in a shelter if that's what they need. I do not know the logistics of it, if pets are allowed. I would hope so because I'm like a lot of the rest of these people. Number one, I'm not planning to go to the shelter, but number two, this is a small homestead and these are pets. We can't just go deuces, see, I'm going to stay at a hotel with power. You're on your own. So we kind of have to stay here and hold up the fort. But what you want to do is to make your planning and your preparations to where you're less susceptible to accidents. I do have a headlamp. Going up and down the stairs does not bother me, but any unnecessary trips, I can avoid doing that while I can hold on to the railing and it's going to be very dark, except for a little spotlight on my head. I don't want to fall, don't want to trip. Make sure any tripping hazards are picked up. Try to, if you don't already, go around the house And if you don't know where items are, figure out where they are now while you have light. I am OCD, A-type personality, whatever you want to call me. I'm that weirdo. I mentally know where everything is, but I wanted things close to me so I don't have to go up and down stairs. It takes a lot of stress off. You want to make things safer. And again, be careful for tripping hazards, especially when you're navigating through dark homes, even with a headlamp, flashlight, or whatever you may use. Just keep it as safe as possible. I'll get off my soapbox on that one. For outside tasks, I'll do what I can today when I get off of work. And then tomorrow, my husband got the straw in, so we're just going to load up some extra straw for the birds, keep them wrapped up really well, and let them nestle in that straw. I've got to we've got a heated cat house outside. I'm going to move it from the patio to the porch. It will still be close to an outlet. I'll kind of have to shift some of it around because that's where I keep the bird feed in all these 5-gallon barrels or buckets. So I'll just move the cat house because ice will collapse it. And those things are not cheap. I don't even know if the cats are using it, but it's there. It's set on, I set mine on a 12-hour timer, 91 degrees, but it's not going to do anybody any good if it collapses. It is not meant to withstand a lot of ice. It's another thing you have to watch out for as far as like coverings over livestock. We've got the tarp over the coops, and then because we use the fence panels, that means the top is kind of flat. So we've had to make peaks in there using wood and then propping it up with buckets to where things run off. I'm sorry about my hands. I talk with my hands. So I hope they're not too distracting. So I'm going to go out and do a little walk around and see any vulnerable areas that may need to be propped up some more, because we have had one very, very heavy snow in 2018, I think it was. It was so heavy and so wet that on one of the lower runs, even though we had netting with nice size holes, it's the military netting. It's amazing the little extras you get when you marry somebody who's been in the military, some of the little items they amass or have that you never knew about. But it's that kind of netting. That snow was so thick and so heavy, it was like trying to scrape concrete off. It literally, our fences, it's supposed to be like this. By the time I got off of work, I had been working in a hospital at that time, drove home 45, 50 minutes, the fences were bending this way. We had to get the weight off of there quickly, and it was very difficult, and we were not happy with one another. We were just getting cold and aggravated, and we took off what we could so that the fences would not collapse in on themselves. You don't want anything collapsing on your livestock or your house, actually. The tree person has not contacted me yet, so I'm just going to pray real hard on that one. If I decide to pull my car out, I will park it strategically. That way, if branches or anything fall, we don't have a lot of big trees near the house, but I've got to watch the parking lot, the driveway, because limbs are heavy. With ice, they get really heavy, much heavier, and then if they fall, that's damaging. So I'm going to assess what my options are. If it's safer, I'll just keep it in the carport and then or either back into the carport or something. That'd probably be the smart thing to do. I'll figure something out. Okay, so that's what we got to do outside. I got some grain that I bought day before yesterday. I've got to pull that out of my car, get that on the front porch, because I don't want to have to carry, even with a hand truck, 50-pound bags of feed and on slippery surfaces, another accident. So let's try to stay safe out there. And another thing, got some things here that are really cool. When people find out that you like to be prepared and follow prepper camp and stuff like that, you get some really cool gifts. My son got me this Stanley coffee press thing. You can press the coffee in here and drink straight from this bottle. I did watch a video on how to use it today because I've never used it. He got this for me because during the hurricane, I had foolishly forgotten to stock instant coffee. I thought I had it. That's why you guys go through your house and look, because sometimes even A-type personality, OCD people, we overlook stuff. So I have this, and then I've got another one that is a coffee press. Also a gift from my son. You can pour the water in here and directly make your coffee from that. So those are on standby. While this is not a life-saving thing, this is an entertainment, keeping it from going bonkers. If it's dark, there's no power, I can pull up my Kindle, and even if it's a low lighting, I can enlarge. You know how it is when we get to a certain age. If it's dark, we can't see squat. And we have to put the letters like billboard sign. What size font do you want? I will take the billboard sign font. Thank you very much. Anyway, entertainment. Oh yeah, I about forgot this too. This is really, really cool. This is what my best friend got me for Christmas. This is, and I've heard of these, I have not owned one yet, USB lighter. It's got these little prongs. They look like a taser. But flip it on, boom, lighter. This is a great emergency item. It folds, get candles if candles are in the jars. It also charges with the, again, USB Type-C plug. So I've got that on full. Literally everything that has not moved, that is an electronic item, has been plugged up and is at full capacity right now. Even my little lights here and the microphone and my camera set up. I did want to go over just a couple things that I noticed. Go get my laptop. It's so important to be prepared, y'all. People, we've known for about a week. I understand people living paycheck to paycheck, but there's the story in the Bible about the virgins who had their lanterns. The 7 were foolish and the other 7 were wise. And they had fuel in their lamps. Well, the 7 foolish ones ran out. They didn't store enough. They didn't bring enough fuel. And so they're asking the wise ones, let us use some of your fuel. And they said, no, you need to go into town, because if we give you some of ours, we may run out. And so what happens is, while the foolish ones were in town, the bridegroom comes, and the virgins were there to meet him, meet the bridegroom. There's numerous examples in the Bible that talk about being prepared. I mean, look at the story of Joseph. Even if you don't read a Bible, everybody knows about Joseph and how he planned for 7 years. He knew there was going to be a famine coming, and then he was able to store up. But already the day before, I just wanted to read a couple. And please understand, this is in no way trying to belittle anybody. This is only for lesson purposes and to see what situations people get in when they have not done anything and then they wait till the last minute for whatever reason. Okay, number 1 example. So, and that's how it's written out. So, are there any stores that still have food, refrigerated or not? It doesn't really matter. I know you've seen photos of the shelves. People panic buy. This is a trend. It's always been, always happens. It's going to keep happening. I don't get the hoarding food thing when you could just buy what you normally do and maybe a little extra. I did not respond to this one. I didn't respond to any of them because I responded to one. I'll let you know why in a minute. Okay. The day before, any stores that have any food, honey, if you hadn't found anything now, just go and grab whatever you can from the dollar store or the Dollar General or whatever. But this person, he or she mentions that I don't get the hoarding food thing when you could buy what you normally do and maybe a little extra. If you buy what you normally do and a little extra as your budget allows, I will add that, as your budget allows, throughout the year, you're not going to be on a next door neighbor app trying to figure out who's got food. I hope this person finds what he or she is looking for and gets themselves straightened out before then. Other example, sorry, I got a little allergies going on, y'all. Okay. This one just set my anxiety up. I'm going to have to just probably not go on the internet today. Reaching out because I have no emergency supplies for the upcoming storm. No flashlights, blankets, essentials. You've got to be kidding me. It says 2 churches are offering resources tomorrow, but I don't have transportation. We see this all the time. I understand people don't have transportation, but you wait until the last minute. You might want to think about everybody else is getting their stuff together. Everybody else is checking on their loved ones, their family, their relatives. You come on here, would have been yesterday, sliding into home, asking about, literally any prepper item you would need. I have a hard time understanding nobody having a flashlight or a blanket in the winter, but let's just roll with this. But I don't have transportation. If anyone is already going and can pick up supplies on my behalf and drop them off, I would truly appreciate it. I don't have gas money at this time. So, okay. You want stuff you should have already had at the bare minimum. The bare minimum. You want people to DoorDash it to your home and you don't have gas money. I don't know what this person's personal situation is, but each request in this that I'm reading just goes from bad to worse. Please don't find yourself in that situation. I don't know what this person's personal circumstances are, but if he or she does truly not have any of these things and is dependent on someone at this point who does not know them to drive with supplies that are already hard to get to their house, God knows what the gas situation is. I filled up earlier this week. I don't know if there are bags on the pump. You're taking a chance on, is there even gas available for somebody to top off their car and then come to you wherever you are? Yeah, this is sad. The one I responded to was somebody who was reaching out for a homeless lady who was worried about the weather. And we do have many homeless people in this county. And I appreciate that. Looking at, you knew somebody who had a need, you know what the need is, you're reaching out to your neighbors to get resources. I had gotten the notification about the shelter being open I'm on this, if you're on these local emergency things in your county, good. If you're not, get on them. So I made a comment about the school and which school it was and when they would be accepting people to come in. Again, with the pet, I think she's got a dog. I don't know how that's going to work out. I would like to think in these situations when it's mitigating circumstances that people would be allowed to come with their pet, because you're dealing with uh, life or death situation. This weather is literally a life or death situation if it does what it's supposed to do. And they know, shelters know that people are not going to leave without their animal. I would think, and I think it's safe to say, I pray it's safe to say that shelters that are open, as long as somebody has control of their dog, would accept a pet because of the circumstances. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I am fine with admitting if I get something wrong. I'm human. I don't know how all of these things work, but all we can do is point them to the right place. Somebody's sitting at home waiting on help to come to you. You've heard that saying, nobody is going to come help you. You've got to think about the priorities here. You've got the emergency personnel. You've got people who are going to be restoring electricity. God knows what's going to go on with the grocery stores. I mean, if people can't leave, they can't go to work. The grocery store is not the magic place that always stays open. There could possibly be somebody who does not have the vehicle, the four-wheeler, or whatever it takes to open these stores. Don't assume it's going to be open. Your emergency people are going to be taking priority. They're going to triage in people as needed and calls as they're needed through 911. Who is at risk of imminent death, who is elderly, your elderly and at-risk people are going to be priority. If you are an able-bodied person, for example, me, I'm not priority. I'm not top priority. They're going to get the people who literally need it first. If you're an able-bodied person at home, help may come, but it may be delayed a day or 2 days. Again, depending on what goes on, depending on who loses power, how bad the storm is. So have just a quick recap, have what you need, where you know where it is, know where it is. Take care of pets, make sure they're warm. Have your food, have your sterno crock pot, your alternate heating method ready. Be safe. Try not to get hurt. This is the time when it's going to be so easy to get hurt. And you are hearing this from a person who is habitually a little bit clumsy. I have had my share of bumps, boo-boos, surgeries, whatever. Okay. Graceful is nowhere in my vocabulary as far as like when it comes to describing myself. So I do have to be careful. It's slippery, and just be safe out there. Be smart, be safe. Depending on what goes on tomorrow, I may or may not update it, everybody, but I didn't want to go ahead while we still have a window. We have a little over 24 hours in the Piedmont specifically to finalize and get this going. Stay safe out there. Love y'all and take care.